the stuff I like, but a lot of it is like this. It's kind of more
It
proggy.
sounds like rock
Like what?
music.
Oh, well, they are a rock band, yeah.
But I'm saying it doesn't sound like metal at all. I would not listen to this and be like, that's a metal band.
Oh, some of their stuff, yeah. Yeah, not a lot of Wurlitzer organs or whatever, Hammond B3, whatever that is, in heavy metal. But, yeah, so if you're into Opeth, I will have those tickets for you all week. I'm going to put you at that Aerosmith. That'll be the last show they ever do in Cleveland because it's on the farewell tour. So about a half an hour, I'll have those Aerosmith passes for you. Want to go see Under Oath? We'll do that later on. Descendants and Circle Jerks are coming through in September if you want to go more punk hardcore. So I will do those for you all this week. I will have Game 5 Cavs playoff tickets for you tomorrow. They're back here at home to play the Magic. I'm going to send you out with some clues, and you'll have to find out where we're standing there holding them. And then I'll give away a pair on the air later in the show. Tomorrow. Also, Kathy Griffin on the show tomorrow. She's coming through to do the Agora on May 11th, which is probably what is the 11th of May.
Saturday.
That is a Saturday night. So
Not this Saturday, next Saturday.
Kathy Griffin, My Life on the PTSD List. It's the name of her tour. I always like talking to her. And she's doing the Agora that night. If you listen to us on iHeartRadio, tell me where you do it. I like to know where people are. Make sure that they're on the map. You can always leave us messages, too.
Hey, Alan, hate the show. Speaking of Seinfeld, it's so wild how politically correct everything has become. I mean, you can't even be a 38-year-old dating a 17-year-old high schooler anymore. I mean, these woke liberals have just destroyed our country.
I see what he's doing. People like to, once people, that's probably why Jerry Seinfeld has a little bit of a bee in his bonnet over what he calls the extreme left, because those are the same people who kind of dug back into his past, right? Kids who had no clue who Jerry Seinfeld was would dig back and go, wait a second, this dude was dating a high school girl when he was 40, and he did. Of course, he said he waited till she was 18. But
he did it the right way.
The right way.
He's like, I intended on dating her when she was 17, but I was like, I'm going to wait.
I'll wait a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. We will burnish our relationship as friends. And then on that 18th birthday, it's going to be champagne and a suite at the Waldorf
illegal.
Astoria. Yeah.
Still illegal.
What is?
Champagne for an 18-year-old.
Oh, well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. But once you get her up in that suite. Yeah, Shoshana Lonstein was the girl. And back in the 90s, boy, that was on every tabloid. Jerry Seinfeld's high school girlfriend. People made fun of him publicly and privately. She's pretty cute, though. I mean, he was just looking for a nice Jewish girl. And he found with Shoshana Lonstein. And they went out for a while. I think they went out like 5 or 6 years. Took her to the Oscars, took her to the Emmys. Took her everywhere. And she looked like a high school girl. But, speaking of which, I got the press release this morning that Dane Cook is back on tour. His wife is very young. The Fresh New Flavor Tour, Dane Cook.
Is it about his wife?
What's that? Fresh New Flavor?
Yeah.
I don't know what it's about. October 24th, he is going to do the Akron Civic Theater. Those tickets will go on sale this Friday morning at 10 o'clock. So if you've missed Dane Cook, he's coming back. He and his girlfriend got married last fall. He is 26 years older than she is. They began dating when she was 18 and he was 45. Of course, a lot of people were like, didn't wait that long. But, boy, all these older guys, unbelievably, just meeting 18-year-old girls. They're always 18 when they meet. Oh.
How lucky.
How lucky are they?
Wow. The universe, man?
Once you manifest it.
Bringing people together.
They dated for 6 years. Kelsey Taylor is his wife now. She was a Pilates instructor. And they got married in Hawaii last fall. She was 18 and he was 45. He's 52 now. Simply no way to know how old that makes her. But yes, she 52. I'm sorry?
52.
She is considerably younger than he is. But who cares? Right? If you found love, would they say the same thing about a 52-year-old woman and an 18-year-old man? I don't know.
Adrian Iapolucci went before me last night on the show, and she's been on
Oh,
our
she's
show
a
before.
big fan of mine.
Yeah, she loves you guys.
Oh, yeah, sure does.
She has that very dark, very like not even anti-woke, but she has an incredibly dark sense of humor. But you're talking about old guys and young girls, and she was saying how the left isn't as open as they think they are because, like, they say love is love, but in situations like this, it's not allowed. Or she's like, or all of a sudden you sleep with one liberal woman's husband, and all of a sudden love isn't love anymore. And I thought that was a very funny take that I had not heard from anybody. Like, maybe you guys aren't as open as you think.
Well, when it comes to sex, though, that's a whole different ballgame, right? I mean, sex can get wound up with politics or how people perceive their political leanings, but it can really throw everything out the window, too. You know, people who consider themselves very open-minded, you know, your brain is hard to unwire if you grew up a certain way.
Yeah.
And people who grew up very conservative sometimes go the other way.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you're a Dane Cook fan, he's going to do this October at the Akron Civic Theater. And if you're not a Dane Cook fan, he's still going to be doing that show at the Akron Civic Theater. He's not going to cancel it just because you don't like him. I'm almost positive of that. I couldn't help but think, I think we mentioned this at the time, but I couldn't help but think when there were all of those conversations about Britney Spears getting her freedom back. And this is a grown-ass woman who shouldn't be under the conservatorship of other people. They wouldn't do this to a man, would they? Somebody who's clearly, you know, mentally ill like Kanye. And that's a very valid point. But even then, I was like, maybe the people who had a conservatorship over Britney Spears knew what they were doing. Maybe they knew something that nobody else knew. Because now everybody's worried about her all the time, I guess for different reasons. But, you know, if you follow her on social media, she's still doing a lot of dancing with knives in bathing suits. And again, she is a grown woman, but it's weird to watch because she was doing this stuff before too. So, like, that part of it hasn't changed. I'm just curious what part of her life has changed. Which part of her life, other than, I guess, not having to answer to a conservator, like, I wonder what part of her life has improved.
I mean,
because they're like
that's a big part of it.
They're like she's almost broke. You know, she's not going out performing, so I don't know how she, you know, if she saved her money. I don't know what that situation is. But they're like, she has no supervision. I mean, she is a grown woman, but she is somebody who came off of having supervision. And yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. Maybe she needs to shave her head again. Maybe she needs like a reset.
I think she's doing fine.
Not having to answer to anybody as a 40-year-old woman is what has improved.
That is a big deal.
You don't have to ask for permission to spend your own money. You don't have to ask for permission to go on vacation. Like, think about that. Think about if you had to ask permission to leave your house. Can I go out today? And someone had the power to tell you, no, you can't go outside today.
Right.
That's insane.
Well, but again, those were like, her dad was her conservator or something like that. And I understand that the issues that people had, obviously, but, you know, be careful what you wish for. I mean, you know, those guardrails, I guess, that were there before. Again, I don't know what has changed for her because she was.
Told you.
No, but I'm just saying she was making the Dancing with Knives video when she had a conservator. Now she's still making them. And you think you'd be out like driving or jogging in the park. I don't know what you do. I've never been under a conservatorship, but I'm just like, you've got your freedom. You can do whatever you want, but you're still doing what you were doing before.
Well, that's the only thing that she shows us. You say that all the time. People only know about you what you tell them, right? She's not posting her everyday life that she's doing on Instagram other than the spinning.
Well, no, she wouldn't have to, though. They'd get her out in public. I mean, they'd be following her nonstop.
Maybe she's doing a bunch of online shopping. getting
maybe.
stuff sent to her house because she has money or access to it at least.
I guess she is spending a lot of money. They said that she's been going to French Polynesia and spends
She's on vacation a lot.
spends a couple $1 million each trip between like
Jeez.
jets and hotels and paying for people. They're like, she goes a handful of times a year, and every time she goes, she spends a lot of money. And,
Well, there's
taking
your
the PJ to Hawaii and staying at the presidential suite of the Four Seasons. I guess it would be like anybody else. When I started making my own money, I had a shoebox of Twinkies under my bed, right?
Yeah.
When you're freed from the shackles of whatever, you go nuts.
Mine was when I got my first job and I started making money, I started buying my own clothes. It was the first time in my life that I had hand-me-downs there were 5 kids and we were a poor family. So I was wearing other people's clothes a lot of my life. I mean, I got my own stuff too. We'd go Christmas shopping or for birthdays or back to school or whatever. But that was what I spent 90% of my money on, was these are my clothes that no one else can touch or pick out, or that no one else has ever worn them before. Like, I had probably in high school, I was working at American Eagle, I probably had 40 pair of jeans. Nobody needs that many jeans, but every time a new one came out, I had $40.
You gotta snatch it up.
Yeah.
These
are my jeans. No, my brother's never worn these jeans.
when I first had my first apartment in Tremont and I started making money I did a week on the road or a couple weeks on the road, and I had a good amount of cash after all that, selling merch and stuff like that. And so I was like, what, I'm gonna treat myself, and I went to Best Buy and I bought myself a flat screen TV. And I mounted it, and it was like the cheapest one you could get. It was literally the TV that Michael had in the office.
The tiny one.
Yeah, and then that episode came out, and I was like, oh, like I predated that. But it was like this little tiny 1080p. But I also had the smallest little apartment. So
yeah.
I didn't need a huge TV. But I was so proud of that thing. I was like. I didn't play video games on this, and they look so good. And
So now, imagine that. Instead of having $200 extra, you have $200 million extra.
Right.
You're going to fly a bunch of your friends out to French Polynesia.
Yeah, well, less than that. They said when she had the...
I'm going to tell which friend I didn't fly and be like, you didn't make it this time. Sorry.
Dude.
You didn't make the cut.
Be a better friend.
They said when her conservatorship was lifted, she had $60 million. It's not hard to burn through $60 million if you're going to French Polynesia and Hawaii all the time and spending $2 million a clip. Yeah, that's not hard to do. So, I don't know. So, for anybody concerned about Britney Spears' mental health, and if you see her on social media, you are, I can't imagine anything worse than being in a position where you are forced to go back out and perform because you need money. There have been celebrities over the years where they're like, I don't want to do this. Leonard Cohen comes to mind. Leonard Cohen, who has since passed away, he was a guy who, would perform in his younger years. But as he got older, he was forced to go back out on the road to make money, like in his mid-70s, late 70s. And he's like, I don't really want to, I was kind of hoping to, kind of live my golden years in relative solitude and silence, and he had to go back out on the road.
When Britney went back on the road, people would go crazy.
Yeah, of course, they'd lose their minds.
So excited.
Well, because...
You never know.
I mean,
Yeah.
Olivia Rodrigo can charge $800 a ticket. Imagine if Britney Spears did a comeback tour.
$800 a ticket.
Dude, Olivia Rodrigo tickets are insane.
You mean on the resale market?
Yeah, but
But they all
they're
get-
going for more than Taylor Swift, dude.
Yeah.
Like her floor seats are $7,000, $8,000, $10,000.
I wonder
for an
why.
Olivia Rodrigo ticket, because little girls love her and moms will pay it.
It's insane.
Huh.
She blew up on TikTok, so that's her audience. Like my 12-year-old niece is like, I would do anything for Olivia Rodrigo tickets and nosebleeds. I mean, head, like you say, head touching the ceiling, $400 or $500 a piece. It's insane.
Wow. The Guts World Tour.
Yeah.
She just got big in her bedroom, right? Didn't Olivia Rodrigo come off
TikTok.
That driver's license song, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
I thought it was on TikTok.
SoundCloud, TikTok, all that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know anything about
but
her.
Britney Spears, a bunch of millennial Gen X women and gay men who have money. Oh yeah, hundreds of dollars buying up, especially if she goes out because she needs it.
And you figure that any night you see her, it's a
Could
possible
be.
train wreck.
You have
yeah.
no
That's
idea,
the night.
right.
Yeah. I think that's why would be the main
you
draw.
Guys would go. No,
No, I
that's
wouldn't
why
go.
You guys would go.
That's not why.
No, I wouldn't go.
I'm not gonna go.
No.
Real Britney fans would be like, our queen needs us. We have to support her. She's in distress.
Yep. What are her fans called? Like Beyonce's got the Bay Hive and the Swifties and
I don't know if she has a name.
Britney fans. That might have been before they named mobs
Spears
of fans.
Deers?
Huh?
Spears Deers?
The Spears Deers. God, I got to get that going.
That might be it.
There's a lot of things that can go wrong with using spear, though.
Right. The Spears Deers. What about the Brit Slits?
Yeah.
Too gross?
Kind of gross.
Yeah, all right. I'm just spitballing here. I got a call from Renee. She listens in Tavares, Florida, and I'm not quite sure what she's talking about, so maybe you guys can help me decipher it.
My husband wants to know why you don't have special stickers for your out-of-town listeners. He wants to know why you don't accept listeners. Apparently, according to him. All right, love you, bye.
Why I don't what, listeners?
I didn't catch that word.
It sounded like she said
Exempt?
Exempt?
Accept?
That's not a word.
yeah.
I don't know. I
don't either.
I couldn't make that
People-
out.
I mean, I
Just
mail
that
Alan
part of-
Cox Show stickers out to Bureau Chiefs all the time.
Right,
If
but-
she's talking about a special one?
I think
like
she wants it
like
to
a
say
bureau
bureau
chief, Alan Cox Show bureau chief.
Oh, well, that doesn't mean anything to anybody in another state. I mean,
But it means a lot
Just
to
for
them.
her.
Yeah.
But where does it not just say the Alan Cox Show,
Yeah.
but the Alan Cox Show bureau chief?
Mm-hmm.
right. Yeah. Well, yeah, okay.
Just write
Play
bureau
that
chief
part again.
in Sharpie when you send them out.
Mhm. That's what I'll do. Put a BC right over it.
Mhm.
Olivia Rodrigo was on Disney. Okay. The fans
Oh,
are
I
called
didn't know
Britney
that.
Seers. OnlyFans. Yeah, I know. That's everyone's answer now, especially if you're a famous female. That's everybody's answer to, like, I need to make money fast. And you can, but that's kind of a road that you don't, once you're on that road, not everybody's willing to go down it. Mary, are you still selling foot pics?
Yeah, I took a break. I was getting too stressed out.
Stressed out by
Like-
taking foot pics.
No, by what goes into it. That I'm walking
Your foot?
constantly. No,
Oh.
that I don't have time to get pedicures once every 2 weeks because I have to, and then keep them.
No, I
nice
know,
and
but
then
I mean,
open-toe
like,
shoes and everything.
I meant, like, since your move, wouldn't you pivot to the guys who want to look at, like, beat up feet?
It's not as big of a market as you think it is.
Oh, really? They want them pretty.
Most men want them pretty.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Yes.
Hmm.
But it's just it was annoying me because felt like it was taking up more time than I had to dedicate to it. So I, pardon the pun, stepped away from it for a little while.
I see.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And have you had people asking you when you'll return?
Yeah, I've had a couple guys be like, "Hey," because it's probably been over a month, and I'm just like, I just don't have the energy to do this. I'm doing 500 other things.
Wow. Must be nice. All right, I got to take a break. I will have Aerosmith tickets for you after the break. They are on that farewell tour. It's called Peace Out. They're taking the Black Crowes out with them, too. That's pretty cool. So if you want to go see Aerosmith, they're doing the Romo Fijo on September the 29th. One last